What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, this video is going to be a follow-up of a previous video that I did regarding the burnt EFI fuses in my Toyota Land Cruiser. From that video, I had an issue with the EFI fuse, the 20 amp fuse inside the fuse box underneath the hood, burning out. Now, it wasn't burning out where it wouldn't conduct electricity anymore, it was just melting. This issue got a little worse to where the car would start most of the time, but once in a while it would shut off. It would not want to start. You'd sit there and crank all you want, but it wouldn't start. And I think I finally figured out why. For all the people out there with 100 series Land Cruisers or LX470s, this is going to be your fix. Brand new fuse box from Toyota. Now, let me try to explain to you what exactly happens inside the fuse box to cause the no start issue, the melting fuse, all that great stuff. Basically, in the fuse box, you've got the fuse that goes into the little prongs. Now, those prongs don't go directly into the wire in the fuse box. They actually have a little sleeve that the prongs go into, and then underneath, it's also, it's sleeve on both sides, and some metal tabs go in there. And hence they route around the box and then go into the wire. Now what happens is after time the sleeve expands. It doesn't expand on the top where the fuse sits, so you can't really see it, but it actually expands on the bottom. So what happens is once it expands and contracts so many times, it stays a little bit wider than it's supposed to, so the contact is not that great. The reason why it melts is when the sleeve expands from the bottom, it doesn't touch the fuse properly, or the prongs properly, and it creates an arc. And every time it arcs, it gets really hot, hence the melting fuse, but you're not drawing enough amps to cause the fuse to blow. I'm going to take out the old box, replace it with the new one obviously, and then I'm going to try to take apart the old one to see exactly what's going on inside. The fuse box is not too hard to take out. It does require a little bit more space. What I'm going to do is show you the exact process on how I do it to create a little bit more space around the fuse box to get to the underside, which I can then unplug all the wires. All the parts and the tools that I use in this video will be in the description down below, so make sure you check that out. So underneath the hood, first thing you want to do is take out the battery. Battery's out. Now, this is the fuse box in question here. We're trying to get to this guy, but there are some hoses and wires and all that type of stuff, clips that are attached. So for more space, I would recommend taking off this guy. He's relatively easy. It's the I think this is the evap box. It's just a couple of hoses, 1, 2, 3. They just pull off. Then you want to take out these two plugs, and the harness I already unclipped from right here. You just pinch it and it comes out. And then also you've got one bolt. It's a 12mm bolt right there. Once you take that out, the whole thing slides out. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So one thing to mention, there are actually 4 vacuum hoses. You've got 1, 2, 3 at the top, and then there's 1 at the bottom of the box. On the box here you can see you've got 1, 2, 3 at the top, and then the 4th one is at the bottom at a diagonal. So this one just slides off. There's nothing there. 2 clips, clip for the harness, and the 1 12mm bolt right there, and slides right out. So now that we've got space on the right and left side of the fuse box, it's time to take this guy out. First, we need to detach all these wires, clips, and all that stuff from the fuse box, because this whole thing has to come out. Then you've got some 10mm bolts holding it down. You've got one right here, another one right here, the 3rd one behind this harness right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. And there is a 4th one on the chassis somewhere on the, let's see. It should be right here, but mine's missing it already. So there's 4 bolts in total. After that, you can move the box slightly up and get to the plugs. So let's get that started. So now that I've unbolted the fuse box, this is as far as it goes, kind of, because the wires are very short, the harness is underneath, and you can see underneath there, they're just like plugs. But to get to these plugs, you need to unclip the bottom of the fuse box, which are just little tabs on the side right here, all around the box, the three sides. Once you unclip those with the screwdriver, they kind of just pick out. You can move the bottom of the box out of the way, and then we should be able to unplug these guys. These guys are just the standard like Toyota plug. There's a little tab on them. Let's even do it one hand, see? So squeeze the tab down and then it comes right out. So there's a bunch of these plugs underneath here. They all only go into one spot, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. Once you take out all these guys, you're ready for the new box. So I wanted to show you on the new box what I did in the car, because it was kind of hard to see. You can see like these little tabs right here around the outside of the fuse box. These guys, this is where the bottom half of the fuse box, the cover, snaps into place. So you just put your screwdriver in, pry it up a little bit, and push it down. And then underneath right here is where you have all the plugs. As you can see, they're all different shapes, sizes, so you won't get them messed up. They only go in one way. So once I unplug all of these out of the car, I'll be able to plug them into this guy, the new one, put everything back together, and we should be okay. As a bonus, this guy comes with all new fuses and relays. Okay, so this is the old fuse box, completely removed from the Land Cruiser. It took like, I don't know, like 10-15 minutes. The tricky part, after you remove the back cover, the plugs are pretty easy to get to. There's not, you do them row by row and then you just have enough space. But the tricky part is there's two power cables here, and I believe one is positive, one is negative. There's a 10mm bolt and a 8mm bolt. So once you get it kind of up, take out the first row, take out maybe the second row, and then you got to get to these guys. These guys are just two bolts with cables in them. 10mm, 8mm, take them out and you'll have no issues taking out the rest of the plugs. So now it's time to put the new guy in. So from the back here, you honestly can't see which one is the EFI fuse that keeps getting burnt out. You actually have to take this guy apart to look at it. There's a couple rivets and all kinds of stuff. But what I'll do is I'll throw the new one in first, and maybe if I have time, I'll take this guy apart and see exactly where it went wrong. I have the battery, the fuse box, and the evap controls back in the car. Now, I noticed that on the new fuse box, even though it did come with some of the relays and most of the fuses, there's a few that are missing. Mainly the EFI relay is missing, and these two on the side, which are missing from the side too. So I'm going to swap those over. Oh, also three on the bottom. I'm going to swap those over from the old fuse box, and then we can try to get it started. Okay, so here is the finished product. I made sure the EFI relay was back in, these two guys, the three on the bottom, which I think are ABS relays, and then everything else seems to be there. I checked all the fuses, and the two that are missing from here were missing from my original one. Same thing with this relay. So everything's hooked back up, and then let's see if it'll start. Okay, if it catches on fire, it's not my fault. Go ahead. Well, that's a good sign that it started. Nothing caught on fire, no sparks. I think we should be okay. So that is it for the fuse box install. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but it was definitely not easy. Now, a couple of quick tips is for the big relays that you might have to take out from the old box to place in the new box, you want to wiggle them left to right while pulling slightly. They look kind of weird. You know, they look like they're not going to come out. There's clips and stuff on the side, but if you wiggle them left and right, they will eventually come out. Another major tip is if you're having the same issue and you are thinking about replacing the fuse box, I suggest you go ahead and do that immediately. When I talked to the guy at the parts counter, they are no longer making these guys, and I think as of the time of recording, there's probably about 9 or 10 of these guys brand new sitting on the shelf, and that is it. Now that's for the 99 model. I'm not sure if the later models share the same fuse box. They're probably a little bit different, but if you have one that's, you know, it's 98, 99, probably 2000 that has the same problem as I did, which is melting the fuses once in a while doesn't start, I would definitely at least pick up the fuse box if you don't install it right away. As of right now, the Land Cruiser starts up just fine. I'm going to drive it around for a few months and then come back and report to you guys and let you know if there was any instances where it didn't want to start. Alright guys, I finally got around to taking the fuse box apart. It took a lot of prying and breaking a lot of these clips. So if you're planning to fix these, I don't think it's going to happen because it has all these little tabs that go all the way around. And there's like 10 or 12 of them to get it loose, and you have to do it all at the same time. So I just broke everything because I didn't need this one anymore. But as you can see, the EFI fuse is supposed to be right here, and if we look at the back, we can see, let's see the light right here, how it's really burnt. You see the discoloring in the plastic, and over here, this is what we're looking at. This is the whole fuse box, but this guy right here is the EFI fuse. Now, what I meant about the sleeve, as you can see, there's like these little sleeves that go from the fuse into the sleeve and into the circuit board underneath. Now, usually these guys are pretty tight, they're snug, you can't really take them off that easy, but for the EFI fuse, you see this one's really snug, this one's no issue, but this guy, look at that, it just slid off right there. So this was the part that became loose over the years. So that causes the arc, causes the heat, causes the melty fuse, causes the no start issue. If you can somehow get into this box without breaking it and pinching this together, or maybe even replacing this little metal sleeve, I think you should be okay, because the box itself is fine. There's no issue with the box. It's just that the sleeve is basically like, you know, stretched out and is not making good contact in there, hence the arcing and the melted fuse. But yeah, hopefully that helped you guys out, and if you haven't done so already and you're experiencing the periodically no start syndrome, definitely replace the fuse box. As you can tell by my hair, it's already been a few months after I replaced the fuse box, and I am happy to report that the Land Cruiser has not experienced a no start issue since. So the loose sleeve that I just showed you is definitely the cause of the problem. If you haven't changed it out yet, make sure you change out the fuse box, because I know Toyota doesn't have that many left in stock. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and for more Land Cruiser and Overland content, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.